Another thing, I feel like it's like this rotation of what is being talked about as if that's all that needs to be talked about. And in my head, I'm trying so hard to get out of that rotation because I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And it's so hard to get undone from it and think about something else. And I'm just like, well, what else is there to talk about? I don't want to talk about money. I don't want to talk about work. I don't want to talk about COVID. I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to talk about relationship shit because I have a show for that. The Real Relationship Report with Dungeon. Okay. What else is there to talk about? Maybe the fact that everybody doesn't consume the world the same. And I say that to say some people refrain from talking to creative people or people who create content because they don't want to feel like you're pursuing them or you're dealing with them or you're friends with them or you're in a romantic relationship with them to have content. They don't want to be a part of your content if you don't work out. And I understand that with today, because there's so many people making content, whether it's for YouTube, whether it's for a podcast, whether it's for journalism, whether it's for a show, whether, they made a character for a script based upon your relationship. And you don't want to be a project. And there's so many people that don't want to be a project. But there are so many people that get involved with people because they like projects. And I don't want people to get caught up in seeing somebody feeling like it's their challenge, their personal challenge to fix somebody and then get disappointed with themselves when they end up not being able to reach their goal of molding this person into who they want them to be. It's unfair. People don't come to you for you to change them. People are not Play-Doh. People are not in your life to be played with. And every week we see, whether it's on Facebook or on some type of live, where someone feels manipulated, disrespected, or played with, and they take their life. This is not the time, the era that we're living in, where people can post a video today and people just take your image, put it in Google, find out your name, find out where you work, find out your address, and try to ruin your life because you said something that made them feel away. This is not the time to be searching for clout in a way where it leaves you with less options than you had yesterday to live off of. It's not that time. It's not that time to be secretly going out on a date with someone that you met on the internet that you don't know and not tell anybody. Your 5 closest friends in your phone, whether you're a male or a female, shut up. All you people that, why you say female? Because that's what it's always been to describe someone who is not a man, that is a human being. Shut up. If you are a man or a woman, male or female, right? You should have at least 5 of your closest friends or family knowing your location in your device. Android people, I'm sorry, I don't know how that works with y'all. But for iPhone, whether it's your iPad, whether it's your Apple Tag, whether it's your phone, people should know where you are, right? And if you're going on a date with a stranger, tell at least 2 people, please. People are coming up murdered. People are coming up missing. People are missing for like a week and their bodies found somewhere in a ditch. No clue on who did it. This is not the time to be playing around with people and having this no-low attitude and that be it. You can't even honk people in peace on the road anymore. You can't even utilize your horn for what it's for, to alert someone that you are coming, that you are passing, that there is something ahead or around them that they need to be aware of. You cannot honk your horn because there are crazy people on the road that will shoot up your vehicle, follow you, break off your door handle, threaten your life, whether or not you have kids in the car or you're a child or you're an old lady. It is not the time. Okay? Now, do I still honk my horn? Yes. But I'm not sitting pressing it. I'm not on the highway honking my horn. I completely avoid the highway here in Atlanta because the drivers here are so horrible and just lacking. Oh, I'm not the only one on the road. I avoid it. I go the streets that I know. I pass people. I go around people. If there's an accident, I mind my business. If somebody got pulled over, I mind my business. Because life is lifing out here. And I got 2 people that depend on me. 1 person that's depending on me right now. That's an adult. And I have things to do. But when it comes to the fact that people are out here scared to get involved with people because they don't want to be used for content, I think it's super rude and full of entitlement to walk around and assume just because somebody needs help or just because somebody is around you that they want to be on video, that they want to be on camera, that they want to be in your picture. Ask first. I don't care if this person is homeless. I don't care if you're buying this person food. I don't care if you're buying this person clothes or they have kids or they have a sign up. You ask, is it okay if you're on my video? Is it okay if I take a picture? Especially if they have kids. Don't be rude just because someone is in need. Like, I am a person where I do love seeing videos where people are giving back, but I also question if they had the decency to ask if that person wanted to be on video. Because it seems a lot of the videos, they don't ask, they just walk up and bombard. And I'm just saying, if I was homeless and I didn't have a bath this morning, I didn't brush my teeth today, I didn't comb my hair, and I feel like I stink and I feel like I don't look appropriate for being outside around people who have a home and have those necessities, I don't know if I want to be on your phone on video for the world to see because I need something to eat or because I need some clothes or I need some money. Just be decent. All it takes is for you to be decent. Whether or not I'm in a relationship or not, I don't feel like it's my duty to turn around and come on any of my podcasts and name the person, talk about them, talk about an issue we're having before I talk about them, about the issue, or bring up an issue that we're having for the world to have an input on while I'm in a relationship with this person. Sometimes the best things are left in private. Sometimes things are worked best out in private. Sometimes the world doesn't need to know. And I think a lot of people struggle with knowing what to share with the world and what not to share with the world. Knowing how much to give to the world and how much they need to preserve for themselves. There are a lot of people who have children that are always in the public eye that the public eye doesn't know about. It's called having a good publicist and PR person and someone that keeps their kids out of media, because your kids didn't ask to be famous if you're famous. Your kids didn't ask to be TikTok famous if you want to be TikTok famous. And I think it's very important for us to be considerate to people in their privacy. I have a few friends who have kids that don't want their kids on camera, that don't take pictures of their kids and put them on the internet. And I respect that. Whether or not I put my kids on the internet, that's not their say. And that's not my say for them to show their face. I think as technology grows, thank you guys for listening to the show. If you're looking for any merch, check out She Gets It Shop with Teespring and Who Is Shan Shop with Teespring. Whether you're listening to The Real Relationship Rapport or Loudmouth Stereo or She Gets It Pod, I appreciate you for supporting the show and sharing the show. Peace. There's some big podcast changes going around. Twitter is creating a space where you can add your podcast feed on it, so stay up on that. There's a lot more podcast platforms coming around. A lot of these platforms are changing up their focus. Instagram changing up their focus. TikTok changing up their focus a little bit, tweaking stuff, updating stuff. What are you doing that is different on how you market your podcast? If you need some marketing help on how you want to show your brand for your show to the world, you might want to check out Marketing the Podcast 101. It's a book journal that I created that is now sold on lulu.com. If you want to look for it, there's links on shambypodden.com for the books. Back to the show. And social media grows, a lot of people get to a point where privacy gets like muddy watered. What should I save for myself? What should I not show for myself? Do you necessarily have to do a video with you sitting on the toilet? No. Do you necessarily have to show a video of you getting up? No. Do you necessarily have to show a picture of you doing laundry? Like, it's all of these things. It's this thing where people want to see how you clean your house. People want to see, you giving your child a lesson. People want to see your child walking for the first time. I feel like that's a private moment. Now, if this is like their 11th time walking and it's, no big deal, yeah, go ahead and share it. But the first time video of your kid walking, put it on the internet. By the time that child is like 13, people still showing them that video. It's like the world invites everybody to their house. And I do post videos of me creating content at my house. But usually the girls are not here. Or they're usually outside or minding their business. Now, if I'm purposely making a fun video with them on the weekends, I might have them in the video with music. But I'm not going to keep putting my child in the video while they're watching TV, when they're eating, when they're taking a bath, when they're getting in their beds. Like, something needs to be left for you. Your relationship doesn't always need to be talked about on the internet. Your relationship issues doesn't need to be in the post. One main thing that annoys me is when people are married and randomly they post a video about, let me show you how I'm leaving my husband. Let me show you how I'm leaving my wife. But all of their previous videos are them having fun with a filter, on vacation, playing a game. My thing is like, keep it consistent. If you need to vent to a friend, vent to a friend. Don't come on social media, make a live. If you need to get something off your chest and you're angry or you're sad or you're confused, don't post the video. I don't like seeing people crying on social media about things they need to work on with themselves that they haven't all the way thought through. Now, crying because you got a surprise or crying because your parent came to visit you that you haven't seen in 10 years, love those. But as far as like crying because you broke up or crying because someone died and you're so upset that you placed the phone somewhere so you can cry on the phone, I think that's dumb. I'm looking at naked cheeks in my room. Go shower. Don't get out. Close the door.
You go and edit that.
I'm not editing that out. But just be authentic, but reserve something for yourself. Don't talk to people just for content. Don't ask your friends questions just for content. Don't act like you want to help just for content. Don't say, so what's going on with the tea, just for content. And everybody is not supposed to have the same memo of flow for their podcast. Like, everybody doesn't need to be, let's talk about what's the hot topic. Everybody doesn't need to be, let's talk about the latest song that's out. Everybody doesn't need to be, let's talk about this clip. And let's talk about this clip. Because the reality, if the clip is already out, everybody's already talking about it. So what's new? That's why some podcasts and some show, they stick to like a certain niche and they leave it alone. It's like there's nothing else going on in the world but what they want to talk about. Because everybody's already talking about everything else that's happening at the same time, which basically makes all the other shows the same thing. Like, who's talking about art? Who's talking about their neighborhoods being gentrified? Who's talking about the new bookstore that popped up? Who's talking about the restaurant that's given to homeless people? Who's talking about a new school that's being built? Who's talking about the missing children in their neighborhood? Who's talking about new up-and-coming shows that are educational, that help with X, Y, and Z? Who's talking about the top YouTube channels if you want to figure out how to utilize this on TikTok? How to grow your brand with dropship? Like, there's so many other things to talk about. Who's talking about eco-friendly ways to go to the grocery store? Who's talking about the fact that shit don't make sense? And I will say this because it just came in my head like that. There are a lot of great podcast ideas that I scroll through all the time. And you go to the podcast on Apple Podcast app. Don't be afraid to leave a review. I appreciate it. But you go to the podcast app and this person hasn't put out an episode since 2020. I was about to say 2028. Since 2020 or 2018. Great podcast idea. Great topic. Are you still podcasting? Do you still want to continue this podcast? Or the fact that I'm tired of scrolling through podcast searches and it's predominantly all white. Like, why is it not diverse when I look up these topics or when I look up these names? Like, I'm sure there's not all black podcasters that are in comedy, all black podcasters that are just sports, all black podcasters that are just like just generalized shit. Like, I know there's more of us, and I hate the fact that I gotta do such a deep scroll and a deep dive just to find someone that looks different. Not even someone like me. I have to do such a deep dive to find someone that looks different. It's annoying. It's annoying. And shout out to Good Pods, because I feel like Good Pods, download the app, is really good. It's a great way for indie podcasters to really engage with other podcasters that are on those lists and listen to episodes and rate episodes and leave comments and see that feedback. And they send you emails on where your podcast is on different lists for whatever category your podcast is in. And it's always great to know who's also aiming for what you're aiming for in podcasting. Just like in any other industry. Because we're all aiming for something. You can't say, oh, I just do this just to entertain myself. No. If you were doing it just to entertain yourself, you would have just left it on your phone as a voice note. We all have a goal, and it doesn't have to be the same. My Podfan group on my phone, we all have a goal, and it's not the same. But we all support each other. We all give feedback on each other. We all check in. We all push each other. It doesn't have to be oh, your podcast sucks because it's not this. Or your podcast sucks because they didn't mention it here. Or your podcast sucks because it is. Like, do you. Be different. Be weird. Because there's a whole weird, different group of people who like that shit. Imagine all the people you're missing out on because you're not being yourself for real. And I would like to say that Too Much Game Podcast dropped a great podcast talk about simping and the fact that a lot of men out here and women don't know that they tricking. And that is a thing. Okay? Very much so a thing in Atlanta. But I'm not going to get into that. But like episodes that really are out here giving people lessons that somebody else didn't give them. Episodes that are really out here helping people learn something better. We need more of that. We don't need more talk about reality shows. We don't need more talk about why you're not good enough or why you're not this or why this is horrible with no solutions. I detest. Dun, 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 dun. Thigh slaps, you know what I'm saying? I hate when people bring up problems and all this conversation with no solution. So you just want to vent. So you just want to complain. At a certain point, we got to come with some solutions. There should be more topics and discussions of us finding ways to build up each other instead of name calling and talking down on each other. I'm tired of it. It sounds like a big Clubhouse room. I don't want to know why men ain't shit. I don't want to know why women ain't shit. I don't want to know more things that's wrong with the people of today. Where are the people that are doing good things today? That's what I want to talk about. Where are the new inventors, the new creators? Where are the new businesses that we need to support because they're doing great things? What are the focuses of the community that we need to know so we can be a part of something? So we can support from wherever we're at? What are the tips that are going to make us great in this area or that area? Like, I'm always trying to figure out, okay, what haven't I talked about? What do I feel like would help people if they were listening? And what can I give? But I can't knock somebody for not thinking about that approach. That's not what they on. Their goal, again, might be something completely different. But I'm also not manipulating anybody or using anybody to create content. And so if someone really is like avoiding you, but you know that they like you and you like them, but they know that you out here doing some type of content, maybe they're scared of becoming content for your show or your platform. Maybe they're like, damn, did they talk about me? Did he talk about me? Did he bring me up? You know, some people too will just talk to you just to get on your show. Some people will have a business, know you have a show, not say shit to you, and they'll look at you as like some sort of meal ticket and be like, I want to come on your show. Okay, what would you like to talk about? Let me get back to you on that. Then you don't want to come on the show. Because if somebody says they want to come on the show, I'm just like, first of all, I don't really like when people invite themselves to my show. I usually hit up people and be like, hey, I want to do a show with you. But if I allow it, I'm just like, okay, you want to come on the show? Is there a particular topic you want to talk about? And you're clueless? That I'm getting a feeling that you only want to come on the show for something to benefit yourself, because you're not bringing anything to me to create discussion. Now, for Cozy Womb Podcast, I usually say on there that, hey, if you have a product or a business that's parenting wise or helping a child out on something wise, let me know and I'll let you go ahead and run an ad on here. There's pre-roll room, there's mid-roll room. Okay? People have been listening to that podcast since 2018. She Gets It Pod, same thing. If you need ad room on a platform that other people listen to all over, every week, twice a week, there's space for that. Pre-roll or mid-roll. Some people claim that they want help and they want to be a part of this podcast rush or this content rush, and they want to grow their business. But then when you offer space for that to happen, it's quiet. Sometimes you cannot wait for other people to bring you that big meal opportunity ticket. Sometimes you're going to have to listen for the parts and the moments of opportunity and take them. So I'm going to say this again. If there are any creators out there or business owners who have a product or something to tell the public that is helpful, all right, that makes sense, there is pre-roll space and there is mid-roll space. And you can email me and I'll tell you what it is, how long we can roll it, and we can set that up. SheGetsItPod@gmail.com. All right? Or you can at me at Shanby Poddin, ChanPoddin. You can hit me on TikTok. You can hit me on IG. You can hit me on Twitter. Or you can email me. But it's a lot of people out here that just, I don't know. I feel like some people get off on being a victim. Well, I have this and this and this, and don't nobody help me out. Maybe the nobody that don't help you out is yourself. Because nobody came and told me to do a podcast. I chose to do it. Nobody came and told me that you must edit your podcast. I learned how to edit this shit. Nobody came and told me you should look into this platform and that platform and this opportunity. I looked for this shit. Sometimes the only person in the way of you getting to the next level is yourself. And sometimes, being that there's no popular content out here that you would want to jump on real quick just to do numbers, you're going to have to research and think long and hard about what would I like to think, what would I like to hear on a podcast? Why would I hear it? If I said it this way, or if I explained it this way, would I want to listen? Not everybody wants to hear a podcast. I get that. But there's always a reason on why nobody's listening or why everybody's listening. Okay? There's always a reason why you're getting opportunity or you're not getting opportunities. There's always a reason why somebody is prepared and somebody is not prepared. And there's always those group of people that know everything about the fact of what you need and what you need to do to get here and do this and have this, and they don't do it. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of intelligent people that know a lot, but they don't utilize a lot. I don't think you should be faking relationships with people, whether it's friendship, business, or personal, just to create content. And I know there's people out here that are doing it. And I know there's people out here that are hitting a content creator in their DMs just so they can do something to be talked about. It's a sick, sad world. I know it is. But it's not something you have to do. It's a choice if you want to do it. Remember that. Okay? So y'all just be great. I don't care about what you're doing legally or illegally or illegally. I don't care. Like, the government is getting it in a dirty way. Joe Biden over here is sending monopoly money to Ukraine. And yeah, live your life. But all of that, I think I'm done. Okay, I'm glad I got that out. I feel a lot better. And yeah, y'all enjoy your week. We going into September. Do you remember? September. So let me say this before I get off. Missy Elliott had a tweet and she was like, in your opinion, what's the difference between a hit and a classic? And I was like, let me respond. Yeah, I know. So I was like, okay, where do I want to respond? I have 4 Twitters. I got a Twitter for So What Page You On Bid for the book club. I got a Twitter for Who Is Shan, which is my business. I have a Twitter for Shan B Podden. I have a Twitter for Cozy Womb Podcast. And I have a Twitter for The Real Relationship Report. That's 5. Okay. So I responded from Shan B Podden, and I said to Missy Elliott, I said, a hit to me is a song that did numbers at that time in year, in music, and everybody was playing it at that time. A classic to me is a song that could be played anytime, anywhere, and it's going to stop a 10-year-old in their tracks. It's going to stop a 20-something-year-old in their tracks, 30, 40, 50. And they're going to vibe to that song. It's going to be nothing but joy. And that's a classic because it doesn't just command attention around that year or that century. It commands attention throughout all generations. And I hope she saw that goddamn tweet because I meant that shit. It's so much music from the 90s that I play, it don't make no sense. It's so much music from the 70s that I love that I get so excited when I hear it sampled in music today. Like Larry June, oh my God. New album, delicious. Delicioso. I love how he samples old sounds in his music. Just like I like how Currency samples clips of old movies or sounds and got deep bass, and some of them are short, some of them are a little longer, and you just never know what you're gonna get until you get it, and it's just like, ooh, I love it. I love it. But anyway, I'm gonna go because I feel like I've been talking for a very long time. Deuces.